Sinker, because they gave you stuff to be like.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, Gavin.Rich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Come on. Gotta dance to the beat. On the dance floor is really show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really moving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby, feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up. Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream on YouTube. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. You know, we normally don't play the theme song until I do the introductions of our topics and so forth, but we're a little pushed for time. I actually had to start this show, as you know, an hour later than what we normally do. We usually come on at 8. I had something that I had to take care of, so I said I would just go ahead and push the time back a little bit. But I'm glad we got our family in here, normal family in here, from Danielle, Maya, to Brother Darius from Atlanta. We got a bunch of other people, Bookie the Realist out here. Of course, we got to bring in our guest as always every Thursday night. This man has written over 75 books. I'm always happy to have him on. I'm actually honored to call him a friend. Mr. Shawn James, Mr. Man Crisis himself, though he's not in the Man Crisis. He's the author of the Man Crisis, Shawn James. Shawn, good evening.
Good evening, Gavin. How are you?
I'm doing fine, brother. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, that's good. That's good, ladies and gentlemen. So you all be sure to pick up some of Shawn's books. He has from the Man Crisis to Stop Simping in Cyberspace. All of that is available on Amazon. And Shawn, if you want to do a quick plug-in, you can do one right now. What books you're selling?
Well, my newest book, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman, will be available tomorrow on Kindle. And I'm asking everybody to pick up a copy on Amazon.com when it comes to Kindle tomorrow. Working hard for some weekend book sales, and I really would like to get at least about 10 sales on E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman this weekend. And if you guys could go out here and pick up a copy, that would be greatly appreciated.
All right, yeah, y'all go ahead and do that. Support my brother and buy his books here on YouTube. What else we have going on? So, Shawn, while we get into it, I didn't have a particular order. I don't know if you're familiar with some of the stories and the topics that I had talked about, but I'll start with this one. I talked about this on Tuesday, but I want to get your thoughts. The Biden administration was prepared to spend $33 billion on Ukraine in Ukraine aid. That was what he originally wanted. However, as of Tuesday night, the Congress wanted to increase that spending, and Congress had approved, as of now, a $40 billion Ukrainian aid package. Now, this, of course, is coming from the Associated Press. I have the article right here, ladies and gentlemen, and you can read it for yourselves. It states here that Congress House has approved. It has to be approved by the Senate, of course, but the House has approved a $40 billion Ukraine aid, beefing up Biden's request. The House emphatically approved a fresh $40 billion Ukraine aid package Tuesday as lawmakers beefed up President Joe Biden's initial request, signaling a magnified bipartisan commitment to thwart Russian President Vladimir Putin's bloody 3-month-old invasion. The measure sailed to passage by a lopsided 368 to 57 margin, providing $7 billion more than Biden's request from April and dividing the increase evenly between defense and humanitarian programs. The bill will give Ukraine military and economic assistance, help regional allies, replenish weapons the Pentagon has shipped overseas, and provide $5 billion to address global food shortages caused by the war's crippling of Ukraine's normally robust production of many crops. The measure was backed by every voting Democrat and by nearly 3 out of 4 Republicans. House debate reflected a perspective shared broadly by both parties that the U.S. has even more at stake than standing by Ukraine. Representative Rosa DeLauro from Connecticut State, quote, "The Ukrainian people, they need us. They are in desperate need of our support. Vladimir Putin and his cronies must be held responsible. The bill does that by protecting democracy, limiting Russian aggression, and strengthening our own national security." Well, I have some choice things to say about that, but they say it's going to help our national security. Shawn, what do you think of this spending package? There's more, obviously, to read here, but as I read here, I want to just point this out too. It says the new legislation would bring American support for the effort to nearly $54 billion. So originally, remember, $13.6 billion was approved by Congress in March. So that's about $6 billion more than the U.S. spent on all its foreign and military aid in 2019, according to, now this is the thing, according to the January report by the Congressional Research Service, it's nonpartisan, in January, they stated that that's about $6 billion more than the U.S. has spent on its own aid. On all its foreign and military aid, they have spent more money trying to help a foreign nation. And it's around 1% of the entire federal budget. So remember, each year, Congress approves trillions of dollars on which it's going to go to what branch of the government or what specifically is going to be spent in terms of our country. They're spending nearly 1% of that. Billions of dollars we're talking about. So you think about that when they say they don't have money for reparations. Oh, they have it. They have all of it. The question is, what do they want to do with it? Is it in their interest? And it's clear helping out Ukraine is in the interest of the Biden and the Democrat. Not even Democrats. I can't even say that because they had 3 Republicans that voted for this. But we know it's the Dems and some of the Republicans. And, of course, this administration. But apparently helping out its own is not even in its priority. It's not even its first priority. But Shawn, you go ahead and tell us what you think.
Well, this is another slap in the face to Americans, especially foundational Black Americans who went out here to vote for the Joe Biden and the left. And it's a major slap in the face because he told Black Americans that he could do nothing for foundational Black Americans as related to tangibles. But all of a sudden, he's got billions to go send out here to a foreign country of non-citizens to help them fight a war. That's a major slap in the face to all of those Black people who he told to get their booties to the poll to fight for so-called democracy here in America. And while Americans are struggling with inflation and struggling with high gas prices, high prices at the supermarket, and high prices overall all across the country, and decreasing value of the money as related to their wages, he's out here going on a spending spree, taking care of everybody else except Americans in this country. And that's a major disrespect, especially to those foundational Black Americans again, because we were the ones told that we needed to vote to preserve things, but we're getting nothing in return. And we're told we can't get any tangibles in exchange for our votes, but we're supposed to go out here and vote to save these guys who just basically are giving everybody tangibles but us. And again, it's just disrespectful overall. You have no money for reparations, you have no money for tangibles, you have no money to help black men get employed. You have no money for black people. You have no money for American people. And that's a major middle finger, especially during this hard economic crisis where the nation is on the brink of a recession. You say you have nothing for Americans, but you have something to push your ideologies. And what I'm seeing here is the same mistake that Lyndon Baines Johnson made during 1968 during the Vietnam War. Now, in 1968, your Lyndon Johnson went out here and invested heavily in the Vietnam War that was dealing with somebody else's conflict. And meanwhile, Americans were struggling and dealing with problems. And this led to your LBJ basically being in a place where he could not run. And this whole approach to politics is going to lead to the left being where they're going to be in a situation where they're going to have to deal with a bloodbath. And this time, there will be no black voters to bail them out because they alienated the black voters in 2020, telling them they could do nothing for them. And most black voters are checking out because since there's no tangibles on the table, they have no reason to take their booties to the polls and get disrespected for a second time.
No, and I can imagine just what's going to happen in November. We're going to see a repeat of what happened at the end of last year. Either there's going to be a low vote turnout or people are going to vote for the other party. That's essentially what happens here. Shawn, you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. It's going to be a massacre worse than 1994. And these guys, they're just in their own world. They're detached from reality. And they're in a situation where they don't understand how dire things are. They have created massive inflation with their policies. They're putting Americans last. And this was the stuff that made Donald Trump a person that people were considering to vote for because you put Americans last, you put everybody else first, and then you disrespect the American people and treat them like garbage.
Do you think he will? So, do you see him running again?
I think he might run again, or one of the other people like Ron DeSantis or Kristi Noem might run. But I don't really know if Trump would run because he's got a lot of power as a power broker now. And he could just have somebody else run and they could take it because the way your Biden has run the country, I believe anybody could beat him at this point because the left's policies practically are put the nail in the coffin for them. And there's no way to turn this stuff around because they've done so much damage to the country that nobody trusts them anymore.
I think he will run again. I have a feeling it might be a Trump DeSantis ticket, just based off what I'm thinking, what my vibes are. Honestly, they can hold their own nuts.
Yeah.
Everybody wants all these other groups that are talking about something, Ukrainians, immigrants, whatever. Hey, we've held the bag. We've held y'all up for a long time and got nothing in return, even when we've asked for help. Y'all hold your own.
Yep, you on your own.
Hang your own shingle. We're going to get our shit.
Yep.
And the fact that, now here's the thing that's disturbing to me, Shawn, when I read the second to last paragraph. Remember, in the biggest concession, here it is, Biden and Democrats abandoned plans Monday to include additional billions of dollars to build up U.S. supplies of medicines, vaccines, and tests for COVID-19. Republican support for more pandemic spending is waning, and including that money would have slowed the Ukraine measure in the 50-50 Senate, where at least 10 GOP votes will be needed for the passage. So this is a bipartisan thing. So it's not even Democrats and Republicans, although it's Democrats that are leading the charge with it. They support helping their own. Helping others more than their own.
Yeah. Completely detached from reality.
What is this Congress? When you're in Congress, you took an oath to defend the United States Constitution and to serve the American people, not Ukraine. If you want to serve the Ukrainian government, fucking go live there.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And this is not me, I'm not being rude or hard, but we have issues that have not been solved by this government. We asked you for. Remember when the pandemic started, you didn't even give that much money to every American. There were conditions behind those stimulus checks. You had to be number one, make a certain amount of money to even qualify for it. If you made $150,000 or more and you were married, like my parents, you couldn't get that stimulus money. So even though they were out of work too, a lot of people were out of work. Even if you made a six-figure salary, the pandemic,
You still had bills,
the pandemic hurt everybody.
and they did people dirty. Now, people
Unless you were
tired.
able to work from home, if you didn't work from home, you were screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think. If I didn't have work, if I was able to do remote work, I couldn't really just do Lyft and Uber anymore because why? That's a pandemic. That would open me up to stuff. I can't deliver. I could probably closest I could probably have done would have been what? Uber Eats, delivering food. But hey, that's still touching something. So just think of all this stuff, and this is what they are promoting. So come November, I'm going to remember this. Shawn is going to remember this. All of us here will remember this, and there gonna be some people that'll be mad with me saying, you let this person off because you didn't vote. Stop the scare tactics, because we're the only group that wants to scare people into vote instead of demanding something. It's like what Brother Ron Hurd says. He's like, the vote doesn't mean shit. The vote, y'all act like the vote is the last great thing Black people ever did. Black people created businesses even after slavery. Inventors like Elijah McCoy, Garrett A. Morgan. Elijah McCoy just had a birthday. He made the lubricating cup for the steam engines to roll. That's where the term the real McCoy came from. Garrett A. Morgan, the gas mask and the traffic light. You had a Black man invented this home sprinkler system. A Black woman invented the home security system. The man who invented the Nerf toys, the Super Soaker, Lonnie Johnson. He just sued Hasbro for $1 billion because they weren't paying him his royalties. And he won. He didn't get $1 billion, but he got more than what he was owed. He got enough. So we're talking about creating money is what makes the world go round. Let's just be real, right, Shawn? It's money.
Yep.
It's not a vote. I'm not saying voting isn't important, but voting is only second to that. Because if you don't throw money behind a politician, you don't lobby for him, you don't spend money, then what's going to happen is that, you're just doing what we did with the Democrats. We voted for Biden. Why, Shawn? Because of what?
That's all because of the pandemic.
No, we voted for Biden because we don't want scary man.
You don't want the evil orange man.
We don't want the evil orange man. But we didn't ask Biden to do anything. It's like when Clyburn went on ABC News and told Robin Roberts and the rest of those guys, I don't care if he don't have to do nothing for me or anybody. Knowing my family is okay, that's fine. That's all he cared about. And he's getting mad at the brother for asking for reparations, cursing at him. Fuck him.
He needs to go anyway. All of them need to go.
He's trash. And I'm not afraid to say it. He's trash. I don't know why people keep voting for him. You're in the poorest district in South Carolina. Is it South or North Carolina? Whatever. I think it's North Carolina. Excuse me. The poorest district, and all he got for them is fish fries. No, it's South Carolina. Okay. He holds a fish fry. That's all we get. No, I'm done. I'm done with it. Let's do a poll. Who's done with it? Yes or no? Yeah, South Carolina. You're right. Yeah, I just did it. I just put it in. Who's done with it? Yes or no? Yes if you're done. No if you're not done. So please stop supporting these people. Don't show up until they talk about some tangibles. And look, if they want to use history about black people who who fought for the right to vote, bring up W.E.B. Du Bois in the 1956 presidential race. He did a whole essay about why he was not voting in 1956. And he explained the reasons why. He said neither party was addressing the issues of the Negro. And I'm not going to choose between Satan and the devil. Now, that was when W.E.B. Du Bois was in his early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And Du Bois, of course, he had his issues. I know he had a flawed history. There were issues with him, but as time went on, he changed his thoughts about a lot of stuff. But he wrote this article. Yeah, stick a fork in them. And let me be clear: if they got some voting in terms of local elections, if you're talking about ordinance that may be up, okay, I could possibly see that. But no, don't you vote for no. I'm not choosing no senator or mayor or whatever, because we're gonna keep getting the same crap. I'm tired of it. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what George Carlin said. But y'all look at this article, go check it out. It's called Why I Won't Vote. He said this: Negroes hope to muster 400,000 votes in 1956. Where will they cast them? What have the Republicans done to enforce the education decision of the Supreme Court? What they advertised as fair employment was exactly nothing, and Nixon was just the man to explain it. What has the administration done to rescue Negro workers, the most impoverished group in the nation, half of whom receive less than half the median wage of the nation, while the nation sends billions abroad to protect oil investments and help employ slave labor in the Union of South Africa and the Rhodesias? Very well. And will the party of Talmadge, Eastland, and Ellender do better than the Republicans if the Negroes return them to office? I have no advice for others in this election. Are you voting Democrat? Well and good. All I ask is why. Are you voting for Eisenhower and his smooth team of bright ghostwriters? Again, why? Will your helpless vote either way support or restore democracy to America? Is the refusal to vote in this phony election a counsel of despair? No, it is a dogged hope. It is hope that if 25 million voters refrained from voting in 1956 because of their own accord and not because of a sly wink from Khrushchev, this might make the American people ask how much longer this dumb farce can proceed without even a whimper of protest. Yes, if we protest off, the nation goes to Russia and China. 55 American ministers and philanthropists are asking the Soviet Union to face manfully the doubts and promptings of their conscience. Can these do-gooders face their own consciences? Can they not see that American culture is rotting away? Our honesty, our human sympathy, our literature save what we import from abroad. Our only review of literature has widely dropped literature from its name. Our manners are gone, and the one thing we want is to be rich to show off. Success is measured by income. University education is for income, not culture, and is partially supported by private industry. We're not training poets or musicians, but atomic engineers. Business is built on successful line called advertising. We want money in vast amount, no matter how we get it, so we have it. And what then? Is the answer to the election of 1956? We can make a sick man president and send him to a job which would strain a man in robust health. So he dies, and what do we do? And what do we get to lead us? With Stevenson and Nixon, with Eisenhower and Eastland, We remain in the same mess. I will be no party to it, and that will make little difference. You will take large part and bravely march to the polls, and that'll also make no difference. Stop running Russia and giving Chinese advice when we cannot rule ourselves decently. Stop yelling about a democracy we do not have. Democracy is dead in the United States, yet there is still nothing to replace real democracy. Drop the chains then that bind our brains. Drive the money changers from the seats of the cabinet and the halls of Congress. Call back some faint spirit of Jefferson and Lincoln, and when again we can hold a fair election on real issues and not till impossible is impossible. This was in 1956 when he said that. That's over 66 years ago. And we're asking the same questions. Please feel free, ladies and gentlemen, to donate to the Cash App, Google Pay, PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo. The links are at the bottom, please. This channel is not monetized, so any support that you can give, I greatly appreciate it. We're here with Shawn James talking. We're going to open the phone lines a little bit later, but I want to get through some videos. The next thing I want to talk about, Shawn, this is a little, of course, you have been very critical of your Black Lives Matter. I'm going to put the link also for the Associated Press article on the spending here in the chat as well, so everybody can take a look at it. But let's talk about, Shawn, Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors admits to using $6 million for the $6 million mansion that she purchased for personal use. Now, of course, your ostrich, Candace Owens, this heifer, has been running wild because she feels like she's actually won the lottery by exposing Patrisse Cullors. But we've actually been talking about Black Lives Matter before she even started. Of course, she's doing it for her zaddy. We do it for the people. But a broken clock can get the right time at least once. So Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors has that call. I spelled her name wrong. I apologize. It's double L. And it's not a C. It's SS. Okay. Well, whatever. So Patrisse Cullors admits to using $6 million mansion to throwing two parties at the organization Swanky, $6 million Los Angeles mansion. So blah, blah, blah. She's admitted to this. Now, we go to the article here from the New York Post. It says that the 38-year-old told the Associated Press on Monday that she hosted her son's birthday at a gathering to celebrate President Biden's inauguration at the 6-bedroom property early last year. BLM faced the torment of criticism and backlash last month when it publicly emerged that the organization purchased the mansion, which boasts a home with 6 bedrooms and bathrooms, a swimming pool, and a soundstage and office space back in 2020. At the time, Collier said the property was purchased by BLM to serve as a meeting venue and campus. She also issued a statement denying suggestions she had lived at the property or taken advantage of it for personal gain. But Colliers, who resigned as BLM's executive director a year ago after spending 6 years at the helm, said she used the property twice for events that were not related to business. Hold on, let me lower that before I get a copyright strike. Fair use. A safe space for Black people in the community. She means her, but by black people, she means me, myself, and I. Mostly I. Okay, this is too easy, Shawn. We've been, I mean, like I said, you've been critical of BLM. It's clear, this organization, Black Lives Matter, it's always been, it's really been it's really a front for LGBTQ and other groups, but not black people. And it's faced a torrent of criticism for its money and spending, also the roles it's played, in as far as law enforcement, the anarchy is created, stuff like that. I had actually seen when I was a lawyer, when I was out in Baton Rouge after Alton Sterling was murdered, I should say. I remember when they needed lawyers to represent the protesters that were out there by the Capitol. I actually marched there, and I remember when all this stuff was happening, which was 6 years ago. It's hard to believe it was that long ago. It seems like it was yesterday. But I remember when I would be out there, I would see people holding these socialist signs. I would see men in dresses. I would see it would be mostly whites that were out there, a good number of whites that would be out there walking. I remember stuff like that. So I didn't think much of it then, but then as I see things transpire now lately, what we saw that took place out in Minnesota after George Floyd, the guys, people with helmets throwing bricks into the was it the auto zone and so forth. We found out he was a cop. So all of that stuff was part of that. But Shawn, what do you think? You've been sitting patiently and quietly.
Yeah, well, this is par for the course with BLM. Now, your BLM is nothing but a scam, and it's always been a scam. And now we all see that this organization is not about trying to help Black lives. It's all about trying to get a bag for a group of alphabet individuals and push an alphabet agenda. There's nothing about this organization that is genuine. And we see that from the way this money has been, as I see it, embezzled, because this money was supposed to be for helping out preserve Black lives. But it seems like these funds have been misappropriated, and it's all about them using the graves of Black men as stepping stones to pushing their alphabet agenda and pushing their identity politics at the expense of Black men. So this BLM organization has now been revealed to be the fraud that it is. And if this were under any other administration, this woman, Patrisse Cullors, and everybody else in it would be dealing with federal charges as related to fraud. And these women would be in a federal jail at this point. Unfortunately, because these people who are part of BLM are having the politics that fit the narratives that are considered to be fashionably popular, they're allowed to get away with participating in criminal behavior. And it is a crime to see them go out here and exploit the goodwill of the Black community, because most people after the death of Trayvon Martin thought that BLM was all about preserving Black life. But now your BLM has just been using the caskets of 12 of Trayvon Martin and your Michael Brown, George Floyd, and many others as a stepping stone to gaining favor with white leftists and pushing their own agenda at the expense of Black men. And this is why Black men have to go out here and speak for ourselves, because if we don't show the world that we matter, we're going to be spoken for by people who are not interested in our issues or supporting our agendas or helping us be able to get the message out about the value of a Black man's life. Because what's done here by your BLM just shows how little regard they have for the lives of Black men. No, it's not about Black men, because they went out here, bought themselves a mansion, hosted parties with a political party that has told Black people that they can't do nothing for them. And it's all about them going out here and grabbing a bag for themselves. And again, when I look at their behavior, it's possibly criminal behavior because it smacks of embezzlement, because an embezzler, they'll go out here, get money for one cause, but then misappropriate the funds for another cause. Now, these women will try to finesse and say, oh, it was all about our general operating budget. But when you got those donations, it was supposed to be about helping Black men in the community, showing that Black men's lives mattered. And we're seeing them spending money for everything but Black life. It's all about them getting in with white leftists. And that shows us how little regard they have for Black people. So BLM, we now know that they're a fraud. We know that they're a con job. Excuse me. And we know that they're not about Black people. And we need to make sure that this organization no longer matters by not supporting it at all.
Yeah. Do not support that at all. Now, I'm looking at this. Now, you notice here, now, this is Patrice Collier's wife. This is her wife. And, although I don't know if she wants to be called wife or whatever, because wife is gender non-conforming. So I who knows? This is, I don't know what to call it. Let's just say her significant other. And the New York Post reported, now you look right here, she identified as Black, queer, gender non-conforming, and much of their work was referring to the Black. She's a co-founder of Black Lives Matter in Toronto, and she's the international ambassador for Black Lives Matter Network, and the topics including the Black Lives Matter movement, queer theory, Black feminism, dead giveaway, and organized protest strategies. But you look here underneath that, there was an article posted in January of this month, January 29th, by the New York Post, that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation transferred millions of dollars into a Canadian charity run by Janaea Khan. And she used this money, and I talked about this before, to purchase a sprawling mansion that once served as the headquarters of the Communist Party. M4BJ, a Toronto-based nonprofit set up by Khan and other Canadian activists, purchased the 10,000 square foot historic property for the equivalent of $6.3 million in cash in July of 2021, according to Toronto property records. So Khan resigned from the group in 2021 after the Post revealed that they had spent an additional $3.2 million on homes in Georgia and Los Angeles. Khan vigorously denied that Black Lives Matter donations were used to buy the homes. So she had a home that they purchased. So they have these big houses that they purchased in Canada. They've used them to purchase in Georgia. And we see what's happened here in Los Angeles.
It's all a hustle.
It's a hustle. To me, it's a big hustle. Yes, and to a lot of other people. That's why when they say Black Lives Matter, yes, the hashtag is good, the group not so much. And let's not forget, especially by the topics I was mentioning, what she identifies with, they made it very clear that they, in their mission statements, that they do not believe in the nuclear traditional family, the traditional nuclear family, husband, wife, and children. They even believe that children should be able to decide for themselves what they want to do. Of course, when they got exposed for saying these things, like by Shawn, myself, and others, they had to change that mission statement. Remember?
Yep.
They changed it because they got caught. They're all expensive, Black Voltron. So, Black scams matter. Black checks matter. That's what matters to them, not Black lives. But yeah, these people, if it were any other administration, you're right, they'd be thrown in jail.
Yeah, because I worked in nonprofit, and that's called misappropriating funds.
Was
and
fraud,
that's which is a fraud and embezzlement.
embezzlement, yeah. And I just have to say, as a lawyer, these are all alleged. But I mean, I'll just put it this way: I wouldn't be giving them any money anytime soon. So y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we got going on. So Shawn, the next topic I wanted to talk about, um, I know you have an opinion on Kevin Samuels, and you've voiced your disapproval of some of his theories and obviously his show. However, I did want to ask you about this, where Vivica A. Fox threw some shade at him, even in death. Now, she's on this program with these three other ladies called on a network called Fox Soul, and that's their way. Obviously, like whenever you see a network that says Soul or the B1 or well, not B1, excuse me, Soul or BET, things of that nature. The Soul, this is the Soul Network, so it's to appeal to black people. Peachtree, things like that. So I wanted to get your opinion on it. I don't know if you're familiar with what happened, but they were apparently obviously talking about Kevin Samuels' death. He had passed away, of course, sometime last week due to an apparent heart attack. And Vivica A. Fox thought it would be wise to throw her 50 cents into the mix. So how I did that? So I'm gonna play the video. I won't air it because obviously there'll be a copyright issue. But I'm gonna play the sound bite of it because I want you to hear what Plastic Face has to say. But I'll show you essentially number one what she had to say and read to you her opinion, of course, of your Kevin Samuels. Now I had this up. Where's my YouTube channel? Y'all excuse me for 1 second. It was up somewhere, We always got a lot going on. Okay, so I had it up here. I'm sorry, I was looking at it because it's Marlon Wayne spoke in defense of Kevin Samuels in debt. So how it started, he says, quote, he put out an Instagram post and said, I ain't gonna let y'all bully this dead man. He said on Instagram, that's between him and God. Him and the Lord gonna have to deal with it. Wayne's, for his part, also said Samuels offered more than met the eye. If you hate it, why tune in? Because healing comes in many forms. His was some nasty ass tasting medicine. There's no right and wrong in this love story, love shit. There's just discovery. Thank you for those you healed, and we forgive you if there were any damages because we know your intention was to heal. And of course, Vivica A. Fox took exception to that. What's up, Bossa Queenie? Now, Bossa Queenie is a beautiful sister. Am I right? Shawn is quiet.
Yeah. I haven't seen her, so I can't make a judgment.
You don't see her avatar, her picture right there?
Well, all right, I'll take a look. Okay.
Well,
all right, she is pretty.
There we go. There we go. You cute too, some chick named Star. I like that little dapper you got on the side of your head going right there. My girl go to the barber. Anyway, you get that fade. All right, don't try and look like Jada now. Don't be bald. Don't you come out there looking like no mannequin or chia pet, baby. Let me stop before Will Smith come and slap me, Shawn. I'm sorry. Where was I? Okay. So let's play the video of Vivica giving her 50 cents on Kevin Samuels. All right. So y'all just listen to the sound bite. But and so y'all listen to the sound bite, and then I'm gonna show y'all something too.
a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good, and disposable. To me, he was a sharp job. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, rest in peace.
Well, yes. There you go. Lisa Ray, we got to go to you.
No, let's not go to you, Diamond. Your husband got caught in a scandal. Shit, be gone. Bush it over with Tisha Campbell's husband. Something was going, allegedly. Something was, you heard that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So alleged. I don't know all the whole facts of it, but I'm not gonna gossip. But y'all go look it up. Anyway, so you heard that Shawn. She said he killed over quickly and called it karma. You know, beware of the karma that comes around. So let me show you all the video clip. First off, this Fox Soul. Now remember when these cackling ducks had Ice Cube on and was throwing shade at Ice Cube because he wasn't on the Democratic plantation. He was asking tough questions and they came at him a little hard. But Ice Cube held his own. But I want y'all to look at the likes to dislikes. 3,000 likes to 10,000 dislikes, and it's over 158,000 views. And a lot of people in the comments clap back at her, saying people's reaction to his death definitely shows how people really felt about him. One person wrote, someone else wrote, the conversation that people talk about after someone passes is very sad. I'm not speaking only about this man. It's a trip when someone passes away. The loud chatter of things said publicly across all social media now when it should have been the same when the person was alive. I've watched someone's reaction to this video, and trust me, it's not in a good light. Selena, Kevin has helped many heal. I have Kevin Samuels to thank because a video of his helped me have a better relationship with the mother of my sons, because prior to my ex was purposely uncooperative and disrespectful. Now she's extremely cooperative and respectful. Guys, and I know it sounds like I'm reading a little slow, but the way that the people type things on computer when stuff is not proofread, you know, even me, I make the mistake. They type things too fast without commas and punctuation. You try to make sure it sounds correctly what they're saying. You're saying exactly what they're saying. Lisa Ray, your comment wasn't great, but just as bad. Claudia, you can't mention being held to accountability because that was Kevin's main thing. Also, men did accept his words, and when he spoke on black men more a few years back. Now, Ms. Fox, what you said was disgraceful and tacky. He was a shock jock, laugh out loud. You can't speak on karma with your ugly words, and you got the nerve to say R.I.P., knock, knock, knock. Karma is knocking on your door, Miss Masculine Vivica Fox. It's obvious none of you women watched any of his shows outside snippets and word of mouth. Kevin's messages and current music are not connected. Fox, you wouldn't be shocked if your ignorant self actually watched the show. It was torturous watching talks so ugly about the man with that tight, over-the-top Botox face. He had more women than men following him, and they swear by him because he helped them understand men better. Marlon said it perfectly. He goes on saying, Dag, I used to be a fan of Selena and Claudia. Now I see both of you as the evil women. Y'all seem to forget or don't care that he has a mother and daughter, 2 black women who loved him, I guess those 2 black women don't count. The torch has been passed and the next person is coming. Y'all sound like bitter old past their prime heifers. Shaking my head. Rest in peace to the Godfather. Shawn, I know you didn't agree with Kevin Samuels, but I think even you as a person, knowing the person you are, you certainly don't applaud someone's death. And certainly, I don't think you agree with Miss Vivica Fox here.
No, I don't agree with Miss Vivica Fox, and I find her comments to be extremely distasteful. And when it comes down to your Vivica Fox, when I listen to her comments, it's basically her being desperate and trying to get herself out here at another 15 seconds on the last 15 minutes of her fame. Your Vivica Fox has been washed up like an old Victoria's Secret G string on the spin cycle for the last couple of decades, and she needs to say something to make herself relevant once more. Moreover, those in the legacy media want to try to make themselves relevant, like those at what is it, Fox Soul. They
Yeah.
are desperate to make themselves relevant because they know that new black media has a larger audience than they do. So what this is another Hail Mary from the old washed up Vivica Fox from Bust Downtown. And she's trying to make herself relevant. She's trying to make Fox Soul relevant.
But there's
And
Vivica's baby picture.
yeah,
A
so this
picture after
woman, this
surgery.
woman has been done for a long time, looking like an auntie. So she's trying to make herself relevant to an audience. So she goes out here and takes a swipe at your Kevin Samuels. Now, I am no fan of your Kevin Samuels or his high value narratives, but I look at your Vivica Fox, and again, this is another desperate Hail Mary from the legacy media because the legacy media knows that they can't get attention for themselves. So they need to go out here and try to do something. And now, in the aftermath of your BNC and your CNN Plus falling by the wayside, this is another, again, Hail Mary by Fox Soul. And Fox Soul knows it's practically on its way out. So they need to get something to get the views and the attention because they know they don't have an audience at all. So they go trot out old washed up Vivica Fox. They go try to put another quarter in the machine to get this, to continue to keep the washing machine going, as related to keeping that dirty G string in the machine for another 5 or 10 minutes. So they're still trying to make her relevant, but this woman hasn't been relevant in years. And anything she says goes, nobody takes it seriously. They look at your Vivica Fox and they just see somebody that they really don't need to care about. And she came on here with a face filled with a caked on makeup, going on here with trying to look young, but she's again looking real old. And I don't like your Kevin Samuels, but this female and the people she works for are desperate, and this is something that they need to try to make themselves relevant. But it just shows us why most black people no longer are interested in legacy black media, and they're more interested in new black media.
And why did her husband leave her?
Well, I don't know.
She was married to. So this is what happened to Vivica Fox. So the Godfather was perfectly. I know you don't like him, but I like some of the stuff he said, and I think I listened to some of his videos. I actually watched the one video I did watch was when he talked about Will Smith and the slap with Chris Rock, and I listened through it its entirety, and I thought what he said was 100% correct. And here's the thing: we are trying to judge this man when we are not the judge of all souls. God is. And whatever decision he makes, whatever happened with Kevin, it's over with. When you die, you can't take anything with you other than how you lived. And yes, he was, to some people, a lot of people didn't like the way he said things. A lot of people didn't like how felt that he was attacking black women more than black men. I've seen videos where he was talking down on black men as well, or rather raising them up. He was giving them word. He was giving them their treatment. Now, before he was talking about Big Shirley, like I actually laughed at that clip when he was talking about Big Shirley and the I formation. That was funny. But he was real with that because let's be real, Shawn, you can't walk around looking like Lizzo I'm just sorry. I'm just saying it's thinking you're gonna get a man that's worth $50 million. That's in reality. Am I right?
Yeah.
You can, and we're a country right now where we are encouraging people to be obese. There's an obesity pandemic, and if you're telling people, you need to lose weight or do something to be healthier, it's called fat shaming now. This is how we've become so soft as a nation. Now look at this. This is her husband, Christopher Hart. His name was Christopher Harvest. Christopher 69 Harvest. They were together for 2.5 years. He was part of a music group, but she was the one, according to her, paying all the bills. And she said, quote, "I didn't want to be the breadwinner. My mother didn't raise me to take care of a man." But you don't think she knew that when she married him?
She knew.
Of course she knew. She was in.
To learn to be able to say no, to own my own moments, to own my own judgments, and and things that if I do them wrong, to be woman enough to say I'm wrong and to learn from them. We're blessed to get older. Yes. We're blessed to be able to go through different chapters, embrace it, look good, take care of yourself. Because there used to be a time in Hollywood that once women turned 35 or 40, that all of a sudden they just put us out to pasture. They didn't know that we got older and got better. So now you've got beautiful women, Halle Berry, Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, she was married. They didn't last long though, for 4 years.
Better and better. And they're also seeing that, that women, as we're getting older, we're now learning to support one another. And that's why you've got such wonderful projects that are happening now. From Shonda Rhimes, Empire.
Oh, I've had enough.
Exhausted female.
Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Before I get a copyright strike right there. Fair use. Fair use for commentary. Yeah, they'll come in and hit you with a copyright strike on bullshit. I'm not gonna keep saying that. Yeah, but busted up, busted down, and wants to talk about a man who actually was married twice, had children, and was very successful. Shawn, like I said before, this man, whether you like him or hate him, look, women still called into his show freely. They weren't forced not to call if they had a problem with it, but obviously they listened to his show. They loved his platform. He had more, I think it was just as about many women that followed him as men. So don't call, if you have a problem, don't call in. Like with Howard Stern always does a lot of racist shit back in the day. I never listened to him. But Howard Stern wasn't going to be canceled or anything like that because why? He's bringing in, and I'm not comparing Kevin Samuels with Stern necessarily, but he was attracting all of these viewers, all of these listeners. He was worth millions of dollars. And Kevin Samuels, he was being that he had 1.4 million subscribers, people were flocking to him, and he was able to make a lot. People try to say he's broke. I have it on good authority. This man was making almost $50,000 a month on YouTube. So you add that up, multiply 50,000 by 12. That's $600,000 a year. That's not to mention advertising. So he was doing something right. You may not agree with what his methods and so forth, but he had a following. I respect him. But I know you have your issues with him, but I just don't like this bullying that I'm seeing. Like, we're still talking about him and talking down about him. Let it rest in peace. If God saw something, if he did something wrong against God, God will handle it. He's the judge of all judges. God decides that. He has a daughter and a mother who had to find out that their father and their son passed away. And also, let's not forget his brothers and sisters that he has. They had to find out through social media that he had passed. So, just like with Kobe Bryant. So that had to be a very terrible thing. But Vivica Fox, you wrong for that. You out of pocket for that one. So, all right. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. I've got 23 votes who said, when I put up here, Shawn, who's done with it? 96% say yes, I'm done. 4% say no. I want the 4% to call in. Shall we open up the phone, Shawn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Call is 656-6760, 504-656-6760. I want the 4% to call in and say why you're not done with it. Please be brief. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, so we have an idea where you are. Who's not done with it? You still supporting the Dems? I want to know why. And I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to call you names or anything like that, but I want to know. I want some answers. Why you not done with it? If y'all call in, please be brief. I know we got one at least. I want two more topics. One is shorter than the other to get through. One is a little bit lighter, but I want to talk about. But come on, call in 656-6760, 504-656-6760. Black Voltron said, y'all noticed that these old ass busted heifers didn't say anything to Kevin Sanders when he was alive? No. They talk about him when you're dead, but not when you're alive. They never challenged him on stuff. Because he knew he would bring that heat on him, especially Vivica A. Fox ass. I didn't hear what Lisa Ray had to say, but I can just imagine. That's the waiting to exhale. Hold on, let me show you. Let's look at this. This is, all right. Already just looking at this. Y'all looking at this. Y'all look at all of these women. Look here. Hold on. All right. Already, you know what this is giving me vibes for, Shawn? This is going to be the updated version of Waiting to Exhale.
Yep.
We know
That's
who's
what they are.
Yeah.
Somebody more like the getting the happy version. Look how old and busted these females are.
Right. I think Lisa Ray is going to play Loretta Devine because her first husband they found out is gay.
So like they got more miles on them than a 75 Chevrolet Chevette.
Claudia Jordan might be Claudia Jordan might be Layla Rashawn. You know, remember Layla Rashawn from Boomerang and from Harlem Nights? She was Sunshine. She's Anton was Selena Johnson. I don't know. I can't remember all the women. I guess she would be Angela Bassett. So wait, does that mean? Oh no, I can't see Vivica Fox being Whitney. You know what? We're gonna make Vivica Fox. We're gonna make her Angela Bassett's character. She burns up all of her husband shit for in the divorce. And Selena Johnson will just I Whitney by default. Shoot. But not the good shoot. It's the salt and pepper shoot. Shoot, be-do, be-do, be-do. Shoot, be-do. Whoa. Waiting to Exhale Part 2, The Road to Bust Down.
That's what Getting the Happy was. Those chicks are busted.
All right, so nobody's calling in. I don't know why no one's called in yet, but we're gonna move on, Shawn. So, this is in all seriousness. Now, I'm not gonna make jokes with this one, but I want to talk about this shooting that took place in Oklahoma, in Lawton County. These two Lawton police officers, in Lawton, Oklahoma, excuse me, two Lawton police officers have been formally charged with the first-degree manslaughter for killing Quadry Sanders. Now, some of you have probably heard of this story. This happened back in December of last year. Okay. I'm going to call.
Call from
Mr. Pirate Brain.
to accept.
All right, we got Mr. Pirate Brain here, ladies and gentlemen. Pirate Brain, tell us where you calling from and say hello.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. All right, what's on your mind?
I'm right around the corner from Miss Nicole.
Miss Nicole from Nicole's. Shout out to Nicole. Haven't heard from her in a while.
Shout out to you, yeah.
What you got, brother?
Yeah, you talking about, I didn't catch the whole thing, but I think you were talking about the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. I've been voting since I was 18. The first election I voted for was, I believe it was Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. I voted for Carter. And I don't know if he was against him or what I forget. But I turned 18 around the time Ronald Reagan came into office. And I've been voting Democrat ever since then. And I'm just sick and tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. I'm sick and tired of them bamboozling us. And I actually set out the last election too. And I'm not gonna vote again until they give us something for our vote. And Biden, I want to see all of those Democratic senators and House and Congress people to get out. I want to see them all lose, and I want to see Biden. I don't care who gets in. I just want them to stop.
It could be Fu Manchu. You don't care. What do you mean?
It could be Fu Manchu. I don't care.
Manchu.
I am not voting.
Chubu.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, because first of all, we need to get our reparations. They have done us wrong, and they have given every other group money that's come into here, into the United States. It hasn't earned, it hasn't suffered from our hands, but they give them reparations because somebody else beat up on them somewhere else. And I'm just tired of it, and I want all of them old Democrats to get out, and the young ones that said they were going to do something and didn't do anything. Like that one from Atlanta, what's his name?
Warnock?
I always get it. He's always, huh?
You talking about Warnock?
Yep. I want to see him gone too.
Yeah,
he made promises and he didn't keep them.
Yeah. That did, you know, somebody when I was on with when I had Reverend Kennard Childress on about a week ago, last week, he was even telling me how they've gone down to Atlanta where the old Ebenezer Church, which of course was Dr. King's old church, they have nothing but homeless people out there. The church is beautiful, it's built, it's nice and stuff, but the homeless are hanging out there, outside all the time. They don't even feed them.
Yeah, go look in all the neighborhoods and all the major cities. They got these big churches. It's like from where I live in Austin, there's a big church right up the street, not too far. I forget the name of that church. It's a big one off of 969 MLK.
Yeah.
Huge. And the neighborhood was all torn down until they started gentrifying it. But they were getting all the money from all the poor folks like us. They believe something's gonna happen, and they taking all their money. It's a shame. When they had that flood over there in Houston, all of the people were outside, and that Joel Osteen.
You're talking about Joel Osteen. You're talking about Joel Osteen, the man for the Lord and for the bank accounts. Oh yes.
He had the church locked up, and he was saying, "Well, it's flooded. I want the people to be safe." There was no water where church. Somebody went down there and filmed it, and it embarrassed him so bad he had to go down there and open it up. The Democratic Party has, for the last time, did us wrong.
Yeah.
And they have to pay for it now. And all of those black folks that's carrying their water, Whatever happened to them, happened to them. I think Van Jones had something, and he was saying, "You think the black people ain't gonna support my party?" And this, I'm like, man, shut up. You know. But anyway, I'm not gonna hold it up. Keep it short.
All right, thank you, man. I want to see Judge Joe Brown become president. You know, he would start airing out everybody's laundry from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the debate. Oh God, this come Queen Harris I'm running against. Oh God, this wench, she done had all types of stuff done to her and all this crap going on out in California. Californication. That's what I call this. This whole damn thing. She had those family parents lined up like she was gonna lock them up. She talked about smoking a damn joint, listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. And Snoop and Tupac was 6 years old. Really, they were teenagers, but Judge doesn't even know that. So, goddamn, yeah.
She's the biggest line.
Oh,
yeah. God. And you know, Judge Joe Brown, if he runs independent, I would vote for him.
I would too. I would, but he's running for mayor. He's running for mayor out in Memphis, which I would support.
Oh, he's running for mayor out here?
Yes, he's getting a head start early. That's why he's going all on YouTube, campaigning, having meetings and stuff. Because he's gonna get a run and get rid of this dysfunction that's going against manhood and masculinity. We got to man up, son.
Yeah, he's right.
I'm so sick of God. That's right. You mean to tell me we got all this bullshit running our government? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, it's like, and I wouldn't have a problem with you know, people doing what they do. You know, I don't care. But they overrepresented. They got overrepresentation. Every movie that I got, there's got to be I don't want to mess up your channel, man. But anyway,
it's all right, brother.
I'll leave that alone. All right. Take care.
You take care. That was Mr. Pirate Brain out in Austin. Thank you, brother. All right. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I was trying to listen to see if we had some people that would call in who were the 4% who are not tired. But let's move to our next topic. This is getting a little late. So I wanted to talk about this. So these two Lawton officers from Lawton Police Department were fired and charged with first-degree manslaughter in the death of Quadry Sanders. Quadry Sanders was shot and killed by these two police officers on December 5th of 2021. The Lawton Police Department posted the body camera footage from the shooting to the city of Lawton's YouTube page. Now, there are links to some statements I will share from Comanche County District Attorney and Lawton City Manager Michael Cleghorn. So wait, he's the city manager and the DA? I don't know how it sounds like a conflict of interest, but you're holding two different positions. And you have the mayor, Stan Booker. Now, both officers, Nathan Ronan and Robert Hinkle, have a bond that was set each at $25,000 for manslaughter. I've had people actually get attempted manslaughter. I've represented people for attempted manslaughter that get charged just about that price. But this was actually first-degree manslaughter, meaning that the act was committed. But I want to play the video. However, I want to warn you all, it is graphic. There's death that is involved. Some of you may have seen this clip. So I will warn and caution everyone. I will warn and caution you over this video. If you do not want to see it, please turn away. All right. Are you ready, Shawn?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hands down, 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 down.
Now he's waving his hands.
Roll over.
You shot me multiple times. How the hell I'm gonna roll over?
Hey, can you see the door? I can't. I'm back up. You go ahead. We're gonna pull him back. Go ahead. Get the door, I got him. Okay, y'all pull him out the yard. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah. Go back. Yep. I got cuffs. Okay. Nico, you got him? Yep, I got him. Police! If you're in here, come out! Put your hands up. Come out slowly. Come on, police officer. Come on out to us. You the husband? All right, step out to us, sir. Quit moving. Quit reaching. Quit reaching.
He's fucking handcuffed. Reach for what?
Everybody's a suspect. Nobody walks without cuffs. Then you're agent. I have nothing to. Okay. Where's the shot at? Where you shot? Give me 76, 77, 10, 18. I ain't got it. There's no my turn. It's all mine. So I know what's the pressure on you. Want to sign? Come here, get some gloves. I got you. Glove. Here. Where's the tape? Where's it at? It's all body. It's all body. It's got how many do? Hey, roll him on the side. He's starting. LT's gonna be multiples. 1, 2, I see at least 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Okay. Give me. And all we can do on TV. Yeah, chest in. 77. Multiple chest work. Keep it like that. And it's okay. Be quiet. Thank you. I want him rolled to back side. Keep it going. I'm on his back. What's your name? I got it. Wait, one. We got chest swelling. 3, 4, 5. Right. Hey, tell me where far. Someone get up here. Hey, I'm right here. Trauma kit. We got we both shot, so. Who's this walking up on us? Sorry. You can't put anything on that. It's we both.
Okay. The district attorney of Comanche County, his name is Kyle Kabelek. He released a statement stating on December 5th, 2021, officers from the Lawton Police Department responded to 1806 Northwest Lincoln Avenue, Lawton, Comanche County, Oklahoma. They responded to a call received by a dispatch at 2037 at 8:37 in the evening from one of the residents at the property. It was supposedly over a violation of an active protective order, and the male was in possession of a firearm. Goes on to say that the suspect's name was identified as Quadry Sanders. Officers learned that Sanders Sanders was inside the home located at 1806 Northwest Lincoln Avenue and was refusing to let one of the residents leave. Officers set up a perimeter around the house, and a sergeant with Lawton Police Department gave Mr. Sanders orders using a PA system in a patrol vehicle to come out of the home. Shortly after commands were given, a female resident of the home exited. So minutes later, Mr. Sanders was seen going out the back door of the home. An officer gave Mr. Sanders commands to show his hands, which he complied with, but then Mr. Sanders ran back into the home. Seconds later, Quadry Sanders walked out of the front door of the home. Mr. Sanders was met underneath the carport by officers Robert Hinkle and Nathan Ronan. Both officers, Hinkle and Ronan, were wearing body cameras which captured the following events. Hinkle, white boy that shot, said hands, hands, as well as down, down, down. Mr. Sanders' hands are clearly seen, and the only item visible in his hands is a baseball cap, which he transfers from his right hand to his left. As he is receiving these orders, Mr. Sanders quickly turns back towards the front door of the home. Officers Hinkle and Ronan then walk closer to Mr. Sanders. As Hinkle approaches, Mr. Sanders can be seen raising both of his hands in the air above his head. At that time, Officer Hinkle shoots his firearm 4 times at Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders falls to the ground and appears to have been shot, at which time Officer Hinkle once again orders hands, hands, and to quit reaching. But we know Sanders was not reaching for anything. He was not armed from what we saw in the video. Mr. Sanders sits up from his back with his hands above his head, at which time Officer Hinkle fires his firearm 7 additional times. Simultaneously with these shots, Officer Ronan also fires his weapon at Mr. Sanders 4 times. So you're talking about four plus 7 plus an additional 4, 15 times. Officer Ronan also fires his weapon 4 times. Sanders is secured by Officer Hinkle and on the way to the Comanche County Memorial Hospital by ambulance. Quadry Sanders is pronounced dead. No weapon was located on Mr. Sanders' body or in the area where he was shot. According to the ME's report, Mr. Sanders' cause death was listed as multiple gunshot wounds. There were 12 gunshot wounds observed on Mr. Sanders' body, including his abdomen, his groin area, his legs, his arm, and hand. After a review of the entire case file presented by OSBI, which is the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the DA's office made the determination that the shooting of Quadry Sanders was not justified. Officers Robert Hinkle and Nathan Ronan have been charged with first-degree manslaughter. So the camera footage was just recently released. They obviously had started reviewing this, or have been reviewing this since the incident happened for the last 6 months. And on January 7th, Lawton Police Department had fired City Manager Michael Cleckhorn, who was the city manager. He had investigated it and terminated both Nathan Ronan and Robert Hinkle. He says it's important to note that the city's administrative investigations and actions taken were separate from the criminal investigation by the DA's office. At either rate, we see from that video, they didn't even give this brother an opportunity to comply. He complied, and even when he did, he was still killed. By the way, for those that want to know, the attorney that is representing the family, it's my understanding, is Lee Merritt. From what my sources said earlier, I want to double check So
Two former Lawton police officers who killed Quadry Sanders back in December 2021 are facing first-degree manslaughter charges. The Comanche County District Attorney said in a statement today.
And following LPD's release of that body camera footage from that night, Sanders' family attorney says the video is shocking to those who watch it. 7 News reporter Cheyenne Cole has been following this story. She visited with the family's attorney this afternoon.
She's joining us live now from the Lawton Public Safety Facility. Hey, Cheyenne.
Hey guys, Sanders' family attorney Lee Merritt tells me the punishment does not fit the crime for Nathan Ronan and Robert Hinkle. He says he'll be pushing the prosecutor to upgrade the charges to murder and contacting the Department of Justice and Attorney General. On December 5th of last year, officers were called to a home on Northwest Lincoln Avenue in reference to Quadry Sanders violating a protective order. But that protective order had expired days before. The woman who called 911 reported that Sanders was waving a gun inside the home. Today, we learned that no weapon was found on Sanders or in the area where he was shot. Sanders' family attorney Lee Merritt says this video...
Well, I had a question we're going to have to ask Shawn is who called 911?
Yeah.
If the protective order was, and that has happened before where cops, the protective order, they don't know, being real, essentially whether a PO order has been terminated or not. All they know is what's told to them through dispatch. And someone, whoever called 911, obviously, probably, I don't know if it was his girlfriend who did it, probably frustrated, wanted him out of the house or whatever. But somebody called and said, oh, he has a firearm, and we're hearing that that wasn't the case. You're just as responsible for those officers killing him. Your words have consequences. Actions have consequences. And when you lie, tragedy can result, as it often does.
Is up there with high-profile cases we've seen in the last several years, like George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery.
I put this video on that level. It really shocks the conscience when you have a chance to see Mr. Sanders literally doing whatever he could to try to save his own life, and these officers are operating with such callousness.
Also, back in December, Comanche County District Attorney Gavin said in a statement that Sanders would not allow people inside the home to leave. A perimeter was set up around the house, and a sergeant began giving orders to Sanders using a PA system. That's when he meets Ronan and Hinkle underneath the home's carport. Hinkle tells Sanders, hands, hands, and down, down, down. You can see in this frozen frame the only visible items in his hands in the video is a ball cap. Video also shows Sanders raising his hands in the air when Hinkle fires at him 4 times. He falls to the ground and sits back up with his hands in the air, and Hinkle fires 7 more shots.
So his hands were still in there and he fired, yeah.
4 shots simultaneously. He had 12 gunshot wounds, according to the medical examiner's report. The DA has now determined the shooting was not justified, but says Hinkle and Ronan are, quote, presumed innocent of the charges until proven guilty.
To cause Mr. Sanders' death, it's obvious that when his hands were up and he was fully surrendered, and they made the decision to shoot him not once, but also when he was on the ground and began attempting to surrender, to open fire, that seems to justify a murder charge.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation took over the investigation after the shooting. Ronan and Hinkle were terminated back in January after LPD's Internal Affairs Division conducted an investigation and concluded that officers were, quote, not in conformance with well-established training protocols, policies, practices, customs, or procedures. OSBI and DA Kabelka didn't respond for further comment, and LPD Chief James Smith declined to go on camera for this story. You can read statements from Lawton City Manager Michael Cleghorn and Mayor Stan Booker, plus DA Kyle Kabelka's statement on our 7 News app and website. We'll continue to keep you updated as this story develops. For now, reporting live in Lawton, Cheyenne Cole, 7 News.
And continuing our team coverage, Nathan Ronan and Robert Hinkle were fired on January 7th, a little over a month after that shooting, after the Lawton Police Department's Internal Affairs Division's administrative investigation.
They had their first court appearance this morning, where the judge set their bonds at $25,000 apiece for the manslaughter charges. They were both booked into the Comanche County Detention Center and have since posted bail.
The black man's name is Hinkle. I'm sorry. The whole thing isn't funny, but I thought Hinkle was the white boy. I'll finish the video, excuse me.
But we wanted to get some background information on these two officers. We have learned Ronan had been with the department since 2017.
We've requested all previous disciplinary actions taken against Ronan and found no prior reprimands. In those documents, though, we also learned he did not turn on his body camera during Sanders' shooting, violating an LPD policy, which also contributed to his termination.
He was also involved in a separate officer-involved shooting in January of last year in which Sontarius Johnson was killed. This here is the body camera footage that you're seeing from that night. This happening at 11th and Park. In that shooting, Ronan was cleared of any wrongdoing, citing the use of deadly force was justified.
Robert Hinkle had been with the department since 2018. We've also requested any previous disciplinary actions taken against Hinkle. Throughout his career with the department, he's been suspended 3 times, all of which pertaining to damaging a police unit.
Ronan and Hinkle are due back in court on August 1st for their preliminary hearing conferences with Judge Emmett Taylor assigned to that case.
And you can find all of what we have reported today and more on our 7 News app and website.
All right, Shawn. You've sat here quietly, said some things, but let's go ahead and talk, man. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, this is another sad case of race soldiers taking the life of an innocent black man. And what's really sad is this all possibly could have been enabled by somebody who called 911 on this man. And a lot of women, they like to weaponize and use 911 as a weapon against black men. And sadly, this is the sad result when people abuse 911, is that an innocent man can wind up in the crossfires of one of these race soldiers, and these race soldiers are not going to have any sort of regard for their lives. And that's what happened here. This man who was just probably going about his business, he wound up in the crosshairs of these police officers, and these race soldiers wound up taking his life because there was no need to fire any shots at this man. I mean, he was already had his hands up. He was already complying. There was no need to go out here and fire all those shots. That was just malice of forethought, and them losing their jobs is nothing. These guys, and getting charged with manslaughter, they need to be charged with murder because clearly there was some malice of forethought. There was no procedure being used here at all as related to this whole case. I mean, if you've got a man and he's already putting his hands up, all you have to do is handcuff that individual. But they decided to just execute this man. And again, that footage was really disturbing because in the aftermath of George Floyd, we still have these incidents going on, and it's still hard for black men to get justice, even 2 years after George Floyd. We thought we were going to see some changes, but clearly nothing has changed. And it's clear that we as black men have to start speaking for ourselves and start making demands, and that's the only way we're going to get change.
Yeah, most definitely. And you see that one of the shooters, the cops involved, was a black man, which shows you, blue is blue.
Yeah.
I mean, having black police officers, I've known people who've told me personally they would rather get stopped by a white cop than a black cop anyway, because black cop, like Ice Cube said, had a black cop showing out for the white cop. And F the police.
Yep. Because these guys, they see themselves as honorary white people. So they're not thinking about us. So that's one of the big problems with when you have your black officers. they only think of themselves as honorary whites. So they're not thinking about us. They're not thinking about getting us justice.
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying I'm not even gonna do the all police officers is bad. I know they like to do that and throw that out. When I see stuff like this, black police showing out for the white cop. It's like in Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Remember that scene in Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah.
They're outside their record studio recording. They got stopped. Yeah, certainly. I mean, we're looking for more information. What happens? Of course, they can upgrade the charges. The DA's office can do that. They probably did the manslaughter charge. I don't know what the law in Oklahoma is to murder, but murder requires intent, whereas manslaughter, there's no intent. However, what they say is there's a period where, if, for instance, there's a heat of the moment, a cooling of the blood, I could see why, and I'm sure I don't know exactly the demographics in that area, but let's just say it is conservative and white. That's big if they charge these two officers for manslaughter for killing a black man. But could it be upgraded? Should it be upgraded based off the fact, for me, seeing the additional shots afterwards, because he was already on the ground and had his hands up? You kept firing. What'd you fire for? You shot him 4 times, he fell. And then on top of that, you shot him again. And the other officer shot him again because he's listening to what you're doing. You handcuff him, you drag him, and then you tell him to stop reaching. How is somebody reaching if they're handcuffed and they're shot 12 times? Reach for what? You have any last words, Shawn?
Nope, not much. There's nothing else I really can say about this except, we really need black men. We have to start taking control of our narrative, and we have to start focusing on an agenda where we can get some punishment for these rogue officers and these race soldiers.
Most definitely. Anybody wants to call in right quick, I can take one more call. Number is 656-6760, 656-6760. Area code 504-656-6760. We got people. Shout out to everybody that was watching either on Facebook, on Periscope, or our backup channel, Gavin Richard. But yeah, y'all call in if you'd like. I can take one more. Please buy. I'm going to shout out Shawn stuff right now. Please buy his Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Some of the other books he has in the SJS Direct, including The Man Crisis, the John Haynes series. Support this brother. All right. So usually it takes a delay before somebody calls in. But I have one more thing I did want to talk about, Shawn, and it's actually is on a lighter note. Now I just had this on my Facebook page. I saw it earlier because shout out to our brother, I think it was Tariq Nasheed. Someone, he had retweeted this, and this was a couple of days ago when I saw it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but I believed it when I saw it. It's one of those things that you ever had that feeling when you couldn't believe you saw it, but you believe if you did see it, like you knew you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I saw. So I don't know where this is coming from exactly. Some of y'all might have knowledge of it, but can y'all tell me exactly what this was? Because I'm trying to figure it out. This was on Jason Reed had shared this, and I put it on my Facebook page because I didn't know this. This was a THOT Pro Bowl. If you see this, I want you to look at this. All right, y'all look at this. Watch this.
Yeah, motherfucking 336 money in the motherfucking building, bitch, from Greensboro, North Carolina. Little body, but I'm big, dog, big, fresh. I'm here to stand on it. Let me go ahead and tell you real quick. Turn the camera this way. These hoes is in my motherfucking. They ain't talking about nothing. Nothing. So when you hear ask about pink, period. So, they check in with me when y'all hoes come through the door. What y'all hoes doing, hoes? We ain't going out this way, bitch.
Bitch, you already know, fine, pretty, getting the house lit. You already know, go trouble keys, go trouble keys.
Big Lulu, big VA, big everything, yeah. Big VA. My pussy real good. It's big banks in this motherfucker. Everybody know me. I'm signed under Fat Joe's course. And y'all know I'm big in this bitch. Banks Red, check me on YouTube. We live, we on the big legs. You see me in season 2. And I wish a bitch would get corrected. Don't fuck with me.
Jacksonville, Florida, 904. The winner's here. These bitches can go home.
All right, so the ladies behind me. You are waiting to enter the building if you already been selected by me.
Catch me on pay-per-view and catch me on NIDAS TV. And I'm gonna leave it like that.
You don't want to do it that position.
Motherfucking playgirl, easy. Vote for me. Period. It's your bitch. That bitch, savage. Vote for me.
If you're behind me, you're already moving along in that process.
Big Nunu, not the little one. New York to ATL, we here, but in big legs, we coming for you, baby.
Mermaid taking over season 2. Yeah.
Badass bitch. DMV, what's up? Big mother reason. Don't get the fuck with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maryland.
This is the inaugural THOT Bowl.
Yeah.
The bad bitch fed. Black Voltron said them bad bitch dental benefits ain't working too well. This is like a Dolomite movie. What the hell was that? Oh God. What was out? Anybody know where this was taken at? It's been trending on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter before. I know y'all know where it's from. Don't be ashamed. I know it might be one of your relatives. You probably, like Bernie Mac said, some of my relatives are all fucked up too. So don't be ashamed. You don't have to tell if you're related to them. Just tell us. My goodness. Shawn, what did you think?
I have to say that that video smelled just like sardines, and it was really embarrassing to watch these ratchet women and the fact that they are being celebrated. This is why we have problems in the Black community, because we always go out of our way to celebrate these kinds of females, and we give them all of the attention. And every time we give them attention, all you do is encourage more of this kind of dysfunction. And I had talked about this in a video earlier this week. I had talked about we complain about Black women, but this is why I don't pay attention to these kinds of women, because if you give them a stage and a platform, all you're doing is encouraging more of this type of dysfunctional behavior, because these are basically looking like prostitutes, and this is an image of Black womanhood I really am deeply disgusted by, because it presents the worst image of Black women, and it pretty much breathes brand new life into the stereotype of the Jezebel, and it makes all Black people just look absolutely terrible as a collective. So I really am deeply disgusted by this type of image and this type of narrative that is presented here, and the fact that these guys are going out here celebrating this with a so-called THOT Bowl. But the whole thing is, when you promote prostitute culture, all you get is more prostitutes, and all you get is more dysfunction in your community, because you shine a spotlight on a roach, and the whole thing is you get more roaches.
Bossy Bookie, the realist, said, I think they're from New Orleans. No, they're from all over the backwoods, bro. From your neck of the woods. This was the this was some bullshit. Flat stomachs and flat titties. Yeah. Titties look like flat titties. Oh my God. Oh, what's up, Charles B? You know, they look like they strip at the strip club that nobody goes to anymore. Like the one that's been the longest running that nobody goes to anymore. That was awful. The doo-doo, yeah, their fingernails smell like crap. Them long ass nails. How they wipe themselves with that shit on?
They gotta have
they gotta use booty wipes. They don't use toilet paper. Shit, we know they can't afford a bidet. Where was that? I don't know what you mean. Amara Rules is saying, what are you talking about? What are you guys talking about? What Candace just did? I don't know what Candace did. No, we're not talking about that. Let's take one call, man. Come on, somebody call in. It could be Black Voltron. But we were talking about the THOT Pro Bowl, whatever this crap was.
Yeah, motherfucking 336 money in the motherfucking building, bitch, from Greensboro, North Carolina. Nobody but I'm big, dog, big fresh. I'm here to step
Are they auditioning for P Valley? I thought season 2 is about to air next month. What is this?
Hey, check in with me when y'all hoes come through the door.
What is this?
This you already know, fine, pretty in the house, lit. You already know, vote for the keys, vote for the keys. Big Lulu, big VA, big everything, yeah.
Everything flat, anything big.
It's big banks in this motherfucker. Everybody know me. I'm signed under Fat Joe's course. And y'all know I'm big in this bitch. Banks Red, check me on YouTube. We live, we on the big legs. You'll see me in season 2. And I wish a bitch would get corrected. Don't fuck with me.
Flavor of Love season 12. That's what we're talking about. I don't know what that is, Amara, but apparently, what you were saying, Sean?
I was thinking about something else.
There was apparently some type of THOT Pro Bowl going on. I don't know what it is. The hottest bitch contest, whatever was going on, and they were recording them outside, lining up. I don't know what it was. It could have been a movie. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way they were conducting themselves was ridiculous. So nobody want to call in? All right. Well, we can end the show. I was trying to do one more call in if anybody wants to talk, but Sean, go ahead and tell us, first of all, you got a live stream tomorrow. You do it every Friday, what it's going to be about. And
I'm still figuring out what the topic will be. It might be something about this high value cult and their dysfunctional behavior, or it might be something about comic books. It depends on what I'm thinking about, but it's still up in the air right now.
All right, and why don't you do a plug-in for your books?
All right. Well, tomorrow, East-Team Horror of the Hyena Woman will be available on Kindle, and you can pre-order your copy right now and get a copy of Horror of the Hyena Woman delivered to your Kindle or your smartphone or your tablet, or you can pick up a paperback edition of Horror of the Hyena Woman. And I'm asking everybody to go out here and pick up a copy of East-Team Horror of the Hyena Woman on Amazon.com tonight, because I really want to get big sales for this debut, and I'm working hard for some weekend book sales, and I'm hoping everybody picks up a book this weekend.
Yeah, you guys be sure to support our brother, donate to his Cash App, but buying his books is even helpful. So please go and buy books like Stop Simping in Cyberspace, which is available on Amazon right now. You see it right here in the banner that I have at the bottom. Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Go buy that, as well as the John Haynes series. Mr. Pirate Brain asks, is your channel Audit channel?
Yeah, my Shawn James channel is on right now.
I don't know what Audit.
No, it's got nothing's wrong with it. It's fine.
I don't know what he means by Audit. I don't know what that word means exactly. Music? No. All right. I'm sorry, my brace broke just watching that. Computer Robot says, I got an idea for you. Like, maybe you could do the High Value Cult or America Quits and Walk Away from Jobs Part 2. Laugh out loud, just a suggestion.
All right, I'll think about it.
In the meantime, guys, while y'all thinking about it, go to my Facebook page. We actually have some updates for the book. I have been finishing the final round of edits this week, combined with not only working my 9 to 5. I've been doing this, so that's coming soon at Commonwealth Cause. Go to the Facebook page at Commonwealth Cause for more information about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., the destruction of due process in these United States. Ladies and gentlemen, that's coming soon. I think, honestly, although I wanted it released earlier, it's perfect that it's coming around the anniversary of Bill Cosby's release from prison. So I think that that's a good, the month of June is when he was released, that last day in June. I remember that directly, Shawn, and you did a video on it. A lot of us were happy that he was coming home. So he shouldn't have been there in the first place. But you go to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Go to also NawniesCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish. Please buy you some just in time for the holiday. Memorial Day is coming up. You're going to want to cook out and be with your family, barbecue. Order you some Creole seasoning blends, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, I'm sorry, I'm congested too. I've been congested all week. I need you to go to my music channels on Amazon and Spotify and Apple. Check out on G-Rich. That Video Soul is one of the songs. And, of course, Gotta Get On Up, which is our theme song. We're going to get out of here since I don't have another caller. You all be safe and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. Black Voltron, thank you for being a great mod that you are. Black Voltron is busy mods for myself, Professor Black Truth, as well as your Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed. And by the way, we also want to say get well soon to our sister D. Tupman. I know that she's been hospitalized, but I'm hoping that she gets better. Tarv B, my St. Aug brother, what's up, bro? I'm glad you're here in the chat. But yeah, y'all, that last video was straight Only thing missing in that video was a wah-wah guitar for all the hoes that come out. Them and the Godfather. Remember the WWE wrestler?
Yeah.
The Godfather. I know Shawn probably didn't like that.
He was all right.
I mean, I thought you probably would say something about the black man being a pimp, but
No, he was a wrestling gimmick. Wrestling gimmicks aren't a problem. Wrestling gimmicks are wrestling gimmicks.
yeah, I liked it back in the day. Yeah, remember when they had Roddy Piper on Piper's Pit and Jimmy Fly Snooker with the pineapple? Yeah, they do a lot of racist stuff though. WWE.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, WWF when it was back there, right? Tito Santana, I believe Jesse Ventura called him the flying burrito. His signature move. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, let's not talk about WWE because then they'll give me a copyright strike too. And apparently, just commenting on Razor Ramon's vignettes was enough for them to copyright my channel.
That's sad.
Even though it was commentary. Fair use, but okay. Y'all be safe and be blessed. We're going to get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Shawn, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, and this has been another edition, ladies and gentlemen, of Gavin Richard Presents here. It's Random Topic Thursdays. We do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I'll holler at you all next on Sunday. We'll have another show. Yeah, prayers for Sister D. Tupman. Shawn, before you exit off, I want to ask you something very quick, if you don't mind.
All right.
Off the channel. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. So let us, as we have gotten on down, now it is time to get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop. Bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, that policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So If you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on the floor. Come on, baby, gotta get on the floor, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Check out that new Kendrick Lamar that dropped today, just now. It's going to be a long night. Good night, guys.